morning, everybody. Dobry utra. Arend here from Countryside Acres. Or Arend Veenstra. I always liked Arend. That's my name in Canada. But in the Netherlands, I'm actually Arend. And here in Russia, people seem to say the same thing. So that's all good. We're working on a house. We are pretty much done framing. Turn you around a minute. Ooh, look at that nice tractor. Provided to us by Andre from the Tractorists. While we wait for our tractor to show up. We did buy one, a red one, and it's coming. We're just waiting for the loader to be done. I think actually in 2 days, the loader will show up. And then it's a matter of bringing the tractor here and switching it out. But this one has been loaned to us by Andre from the Tractorists. Maybe we can put their details on the screen again. We are extremely grateful for all of his help, not just with the tractor, but with many other things, including the well. Yesterday we drilled a well. He helped find a well driller and arrange everything. And yeah, we're pretty excited. We have running water here now. It's very dirty still. It's very sandy. But they say, you know, we're running it for 4 or 5 days. It should clear up. And that's what we're hoping. If there's a little bit of sand, that's okay. We'll just put a filter on it. Right now there's a lot of sand, but it's a brand new well. So we're going to let it run and clean itself out. As far as the framing, we are basically all done. There's a couple of spots of top plate yet. If you see here, always do a double top plate. Okay, and here you can see I've still only got a single on the far end. So we got to finish that up yet. Now this portion of the house, from this wall to this beam to this wall, is going to be a 2-story. So we're going to put one more up here. That portion is finished. We just need to put a roof on it. That's the way we've decided to do it. Right now we're going to work on waterproofing, putting that on so that we can put some more of this sand in the hole. That way we'll be able to stand here better, not fall in accidentally. And we need to put sheeting on here. OSB sheeting is going all the way around the outside of this house. And that'll stiffen it up. I don't want to put a second story up here before putting the OSB on. Although we do have it braced right now. You can see some angle braces. Like the one here in the corner. I don't know if you can see that or not. Anyway, there's one right here in the corner, and of course we have all these other braces. But it's still a good idea just to get the OSB nailed on. I would hate to put more weight on there and have these follow. That would be very silly. But essentially, we're done framing down here. All the window headers are in. I did not frame the bottom of this window. You can see these bottoms, or these have bottoms, bottom sill and studs. Here I did not do that. Reason being, the window that we chose will bring us to 90 centimeters off the floor, which happens to be exact counter height. And so I think we're going to choose a smaller window because you get your counters in your kitchen, and then there's usually a backsplash, which is about 4 inches, which would be, what, 10 centimeters typically. And I don't want the window to be obviously covered by that. So I think we're going to choose a smaller size window for that. So both of these in the kitchen, this one here is above the sink, this one here is above the stove. Both of those, I need to find a new size, and then I will put the bottom plate in. But that's got nothing to do with structure today. We can go ahead and get everything done. Aside from that, very exciting to see the next layer go up. Shouldn't take too long. And once it's all sheeted, it really starts to look like a house and get all the cutouts. I bought a new Sawzall as well. If you don't know what that is, reciprocating saw, back and forth. My wife, it's probably her least favorite tool because she always figures it's so dangerous. But we did buy one of those and it showed up. Now I got to go pick it up probably later today, and we'll pick up some more OSB for the next floor, as well as a few other things. Oh, our van door, the sliding door on our van is kaput. So I got a new part. There's a new, what do you want to call it? The hardware for the bottom with the wheels on it and the bearings in it. Can't remember what it's called. But anyway, that's what is broken. So I bought a new one of those, and that also arrived. So we're going to pick that up so we can use our van door again. Now you're up to speed, folks. Hope you enjoy a wonderful day. And for all you people who love to see the skyline, look at that beauty. Absolutely amazing here. There's a wee bit of haziness here, not much. A couple of wispy clouds over there in the distance, but they look pretty normal to me. Это очень нормально. And of course the sunshine. Beautiful, beautiful sunshine. Slava Bog.
shouldn't take very long to...
All right, here's waterproofing. You put that at grade height. Now, this is going to cause a lot of discussion and argument, possibly, on the YouTube. Reason being, there's many different ways of doing this. A lot of people like to put tar on the wall. Some people put only bubble wrap on the wall. Typically with ICF homes, every single ICF home I've ever built, we put like Blueskin is one of the products. It's like a kind of like a peel and stick membrane, rubbery, tarry membrane, I guess. The outside of it is plasticky, and the inside is a really sticky goop. And you prime the wall first on the styrofoam, and then you stick this stuff on. I have no idea if it exists here or not. In my research, there are many people who only put bubble wrap on, and you can do whatever you want. This is a waterproof plastic membrane. No water is going to get through the plastic, so there really isn't any reason to put anything behind it. Now, yes, we are putting screw holes through it, but of course the screw fills that hole. Also, there's dimples. The way this stuff works, it sets off the wall by these dimples. So any water that does flow through is going to take the path of least resistance, as water always does. It's not going to push its way through the concrete because there is no pushing. There is nothing pushing it through. If any water drips through, it's going to run down behind here through those dimples, and it's going to come right out on my footing. You can see the footer down there, and it's going to go directly into the tile, which is there. Now, in the event any water comes on the inside, we have a tile on the inside as well, sitting right there. But in all my research, this should be sufficient. The screw patterns and these washers is recommended to help hold it. The main issue that people have with a leaky basement is backfilling with the wrong material. You need to get the water away from the house. There's no point in fighting nature. You can make it as waterproof as you want, but if you have a water issue, it will find its way into the house. What you need to do is get the water away from the house. Now, in all the time that we've had this hole dug, I've never seen any water here yet. Anytime it rains, the ground actually absorbs the water, which is a whole different story that I'm super excited about. It means that we have a lot of organic matter in our soil, and it can take a good soaking without running off. The problem with running off, a lot of modern agriculture has been so over-farmed that the water doesn't sink into the dirt and it starts to run, taking your nutrients with down the hill. And here, I haven't seen any water running. Even this well, we've drilled this well now, we've been pumping water about 7 hours, I think, last night, and we've been pumping for probably 2 this morning. There's no water running anywhere. It's all soaking into the land, which is super exciting. It's good fertility, in other words. Now, back to the building here. It's not, there's no water evidence here at all in the basement or coming out of the clay anywhere. It's cork dry. Now you could say, yeah, okay, but it hasn't rained in a while. Granted. But if you keep the water running away, you never have a... Okay, so if you keep things sloped away from the house, that means proper gutter systems to flow the water away. And here, this is sloped good. You can do it on this side. We'll slope everything away from the house. That's going to be our main issue because it slopes down already. But we planned already to lift this so that we can have a back patio area. And then we'll probably build a little bit of a swale going either way. So keep that water from running into our home as well. Next thing is people backfill with the wrong material. A lot of people dig the clay or whatever it is here out, and then they fill the trench back up with the same material. And that is a terrible idea. You should be using gravel or sand, because water will run through it. In other words, there's not going to be any water sitting alongside my walls. Any water that comes here will directly run down through the sand or through the gravel, hit that footing tile, and go out and leave down the hill here where I have this trench. All right, you can see the tile there, and it wraps all the way around the entire house. It will collect that water and make it disappear. That's a 8-inch tile. It's huge. It'll collect a lot of water in the event there's any water here. But of course, you got to plan for it in such a way that no water ever ends up here in the first place. The second problem with backfilling with clay is that it absorbs water, it becomes saturated with water, and then when it freezes, that's when you have a frost issue and it pushes. When water freezes, it expands, and it'll actually push on your walls and collapse them. And I have seen so many basements, especially when done with cinder blocks, that are collapsing. They're pushing in on the inside. And we definitely don't want that. And the main culprit for that is backfilling with the wrong material. Get the water away from your house and you wouldn't have that problem. That is the main objective. Now, people also said frost will get underneath your footing. This is also a water issue. If there's no water, you won't have frost underneath your footing. Get the water away from the building. By building on it on the virgin dirt, it is now sealed to the dirt. There's no reason for water to go underneath. Okay, you can put gravel down first and then build your footer. There's nothing wrong with it either, but it's also not necessary. There's been millions of homes built with a footing directly on the clay. That's fine. There is rebar in here. Many people commented, there didn't see any rebar. Well, we don't film every single second of every single day. There is rebar in this footing holding it up, and there's a ton of rebar in this wall. And yes, there's also a ton of rebar going around the corners of every block section that we put in. Here is where the grade is the lowest. We have about 4 feet here, 120 centimeters. The footing is 120 centimeters below the current grade, but we will be lifting that. As you can see, a little bit, we're going to be adding about 15 to 30 centimeters of fill here yet, which then brings our footer about 5 feet or 150 centimeters below the frost line. Keep in mind that right now the footer is below this yet, right? It's about 8 inches down underneath this this bubble wrap. So no issues will be had. Right? Everything gonna be good? Boy, your hair is still a mess this morning, isn't it?
I haven't made it.
You like
today.
it down though, right? It just ends up blowing around on your face. You haven't made your hair yet? Well, then it looks pretty good for somebody that didn't make their hair. Come on, buddy! He's fighting with the wind over here. He's flying! Having fun? It's a good workout, right? You know that people pay money to go to the gym to work out. Isn't that crazy? Do you think you need to go to the gym tonight? No? Get enough of a workout, right? We are putting plywood on the walls. It's actually not plywood, it's OSB. Or aspenite, whatever you want to call it, but we're putting it on. That'll sturdy everything up. I don't know if we're gonna get the second layer, we'll see. And then I want to start getting joists on the top. Hello, it's been another lovely day. The well is running much better. It's a lot cleaner, still some sand in it, but it did clear up a lot, so hopefully within another day or so it will be better. It's noisy over there. We got a little farther on the house, got the sheeting on. Now, most often I start my sheeting at the bottom of the studs, but this time I overlapped it. Couple reasons, I guess. Just wanted less of the styrofoam showing, but also I think it helps hold everything together better. And these sheets are an oddball size anyway, because they're 1250, which is kind of odd. It's not, it doesn't fit with the normal, no, I shouldn't say that. It doesn't fit with Western measurements of 8-foot walls. And I have an 8-foot stud wall here, which is 240. And so 1250 and 1250 would actually get me to 250, yeah? 2500 if you want, if you will. And 2400 would be 8 feet. So I decided, why not just drop it anyway? And now I dropped it some more. But the nice part about this is when I do my next layer, it'll actually tie this and the rim board joist spacing plus the neck studs all together again as well, and it'll just help make it all stronger rather than having a seam here along that joint. So now I'm going to finish my top plates, not done here yet, and here, and then we're ready for rafters. No, ready for joists. So that's where we're at now. Obviously I got to cut the plywood out here yet, but I got a Sawzall I ordered. It's sitting at Ozone. And it's a lot easier to do this job with a Sawzall. If you're not familiar with that, it's a reciprocating saw. It's kind of like a hand saw, except it's got a motor on it. And I don't have one right now. It didn't come in my kit, so I just bought a new one. These windows, I could have left them out. I don't know why I went right through. Here, I just cut on either side of the window. Now I have to cut these in place, which is a bit more of a pain, but it can be done. But it starts to take shape more and more every day. So the top plate's done here already on this side. I just got to do that side yet. And then I'm going to lay out my joists, mark them all on the middle beam here and on there. And then we will start placing joists. Might even get around to that tonight. We'll see. This is a doorway. I'm going to leave it closed for now. It's just a little bit safer for Finn. I got to get something here closed up so he doesn't fall down there. And then he'd actually be allowed to come in. Right now we haven't been letting him because it's just too dangerous. This is a window and a window, as I explained before. I don't know the size of the window yet, so I'm going to figure that out, and then I will put the sill plate for the window in. For now it's good like that. And that is a door, of course, and this is a door, but we're going to leave it closed. I can cut it out at a later date when the door shows up. And this one here, obviously we need to be able to get in and out, so I cut it. Yes, yes, yes. A lot of people are like, don't understand. I read a few comments like, I thought you were a farmer. I don't understand. Why is a farmer not able to know how to build a house? Why is a carpenter not able to know how to farm? Why can someone not be good at more than one thing? And maybe that's, I don't know, I found that, Anneesa and I found that coming here, that a lot of people are specialized in something. I believe a farmer needs to be good at everything. You can't afford to pay other people to do everything for you. So a farmer should be able to do his own cement work, his own mechanical work, his own building work, everything. We've always done it that way. I can't afford to pay someone to come out to my farm and do it. Now here in Russia, the wages are cheaper, yes, so maybe it's more affordable, but in Canada, it's not. A mechanic often will charge $80, $100, $120 an hour. I can't afford that. So you just learn to fix it yourself, and you become a jack of all trades. And I would say that, maybe I'm exaggerating when I say majority, I don't know. Majority of the farmers I know also know how to build, and often do renovate their own stuff. So I don't know, I've just assumed that it's the same way here. Maybe it isn't. But I am a house builder. I have been building houses and barns pretty much all of my working life, I guess. I started in construction for a barn builder at 14 years old as summer help. Admittedly, I still had school to do. After school, of course, we worked on the farm, lots of milking, things like that. But in the summertime, I worked for this carpenter. And then, yeah, I'd have done a variety of different jobs. So, full-time, 16 and a half. I started working full-time on a farm, someone else's dairy farm, learned a lot there, and did that for a year, and then went back to construction. Carpentry, building houses again. Start to finish, which is what we're doing here now. And then eventually I went back to barn building after that. So yeah, just lots of experience, but I've always done it. My dream is to farm, and there's no one handing me a farm. There's no one paying for a farm. My wife and I started with absolutely nothing. We were flat broke when we got married. We had nothing, and just work hard, lots of hours. I put in 300 hours a month roughly when we first got married, and slowly but surely saved up enough to put a down payment on the first house. And it was a junky house, and we fixed it up and then sold it, made a little bit of money on it, and just kept going until we could finally afford to farm. And I've always swung a hammer. I've always continued carpentry for other people and for ourselves to help pay the bills and help ultimately pay for farming, which is the lifestyle that we believe best fits a family. It allows me to be home every day working with my children side by side and with my wife side by side, building a home, building a future for our family. And I'll probably continue to do that. I'm hoping that here in Russia I will be able to actually afford to farm and not have to do carpentry on the side, but we'll see. Time will tell. It's nice to have the talent to do so, and that's why I teach my children all these things as well. And I believe the more experience that they can get, the better. They should work for multiple people. Going to college or university is great if you want to be a doctor, but for the average person, I think it's a complete waste of time and money. They are much better off getting work experience by working for different people. If you want to be a really good mechanic, you might be able to go to school, but there's no experience there. It's just desk learning. You should go find a good mechanic and work for him for a year or 2 or 3 and get him to teach you everything you know. Don't work for him for a paycheck. Work for him for the knowledge and experience that you can get. And that is for any field that will allow you to do so. If you can learn from somebody that is already an expert at it, that is the best education you could ever get. And I have been very fortunate to have had some excellent bosses in my life who took the time to teach me a lot. And I'm always going to be grateful for that, because that knowledge I now carry and I can pass on to my children. And hopefully one day they will pass it on to their children, to my grandchildren. So a little bit more of a rant for you.
Hey darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city life. Hey darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city. Let's drive to the open air. Yeah, the countryside is so pretty, with the wind blowing in